Let's get drunk at the director's garage. Let's get drunk at the director's garage. It don't matter wherever you are. Let's all get drunk at the director's garage.
I know this show is supposed to happen on a Wednesday, but I got drunk and couldn't make the gig. So I packed up my headphones and I headed out the door. And here we are today. Time to get this show started. The whiskey's pouring, grab yourself a beer. Everything's ready, the director is here. Time to get loose, join the entourage. Let's all get drunk at the director's garage.
Oh, you gotta love it. Who told us it was a good idea to come live on a Saturday morning? Anybody? Whose idea was this? Well, welcome everybody. Welcome to the Hangout. Which normally would be a hangover hangout if we were on the Patreon thing, but hey, we're doing it live on a Saturday. A couple of reasons. First of all, HC820. I like these. I really like these. I know most people hate them, but I like them. All right. The reason we're doing it on a Saturday is I've been editing all week. I've been editing. I've had some projects in here. Nothing for pay, mind you. I wish it was, but it's just stuff I'm doing on spec to try and get other business in. So I've been working like editing. When I get to editing, it's like around the clock. It's like crazy around the clock. So I'm working until 2, 3 in the morning, just like to keep going, because that's how you get these things done. It's just you get in a groove and just keep pushing to get all these projects done. So I've got 3 different projects in editing. 2 of them are active right now, and I'm just working around the clock. And I actually did a really interesting thing. I had an edit session over Zoom on Friday, because Wednesday the lady came over here and was in the bay with me, which is kind of fun because I never get to edit with anybody anymore. I'm always by myself. It's a terribly lonely existence, but I have you guys. Anyway, I normally I'm by myself, so it's great to have somebody here in the bay, and you can throw ideas back and forth and review stuff. But she's allergic to cats. And we have the cattiest cat in this office you could imagine. He's practically a panther, Howley. And so she left here very ill on Wednesday. I'm like, oh my God, I killed my friend. And so on Friday, I was like, you know what? As bad as it was on Wednesday, it's about 3 times worse because it's been raining. And Holly's been inside. I mean, it's just so catty in here right now, So I'm like, even I get little, teary-eyed. It's like I'm not sad, but I'm actually stuffy or whatever from the experience. So anyway, so yesterday I went live on Zoom, and I was using microphones and trying to mix in the audio, and then I was sharing my edit screen, and I had just enough bandwidth to make it work. We actually wound up doing a full day session together, edit session, and she was sitting in her living room and I was here. So it worked out, but yeah, it was a little dodgy. So that's why these HD-800s were out. I was using these, or HD-820s I should say, because I was using these in the edit as a closeback. I needed something I could isolate so that we weren't getting a feedback loop when we were on Zoom. Anyway, and these are now I've had the HD-800, I've had the HD-820s. The HD-800s were better, I thought, but I still, there's something about, I love the design of this, I love the feel of this. It's not the most perfect, it's a weird thing with the soundstage, I know, but these are just fun to wear. I mean, it looks like, I don't know, it looks like a TIE fighter, or, you know, Millennium Falcon or something. It's just the best. It's one of these great designs. It's a ton of fun. Love the headphone. Very comfortable too. And there's now one of the things I want to do though, this is like on my short list for when I have money again. One of the things I want to, I can do it here. One of the things I want to do is, I want to look into this. This is a friend of mine, Gene, from our somebody I respect a ton. I love his taste in audio, and he recommends this. This company is called Jupiter Audio Research, and they make mods for HD-800s. And Gene has some of the best headphones in the world, and this is one of his daily drivers. This Jupiter, they call it the JAR 800 or 820, I think, 800. You send in, you have to buy one and then send it into them, and then they'll do the modifications on it. And people Gene just raves about this headphone. And I liked the original HD-800 enough to where I would actually really like to try this. This is on my list of things I want to do. So very cool. And I would tip anybody off to these guys. I always push people who I'm hearing good things about. So this is something I really want to check out. They just, they do like a mod to the driver or whatever. This is how a lot of guys got started too. A lot of companies got, like ZMF and Ryan from Mod House. They all got started doing these driver mods or headphone mods, like altering the shapes of the wave or whatever, and perfecting what is, in some ways a flawed headphone if you look at it that way. And these guys kind of figure it out, and fix it. So. There you go. So check them out if you want. Jupiter Audio, I have no affiliation. Somebody was talking about that. It was something that Gene was mentioning, and I'm like, oh, I definitely, I respect your opinion, so I want to hear what it is. Hey, that's you, Gene. Yes. I just got there, went down a rat hole on the HD-820, and I wound up at the Jupiter Audio Research. But yeah, Gene's a great guy, and he has a phenomenal ear. So, and I respect him a ton. So I want to check that out at some point. And I have there's no way I'll ever do it other than buying them. There's no way, it's like nobody just has these sitting around. So it's a good thing. So we're on earlier today, which is good probably for some of our international folks, because I'm always on at 2, 3 in the afternoon, LA time, which is, usually in the middle of the night. So we probably caught some people like when they were awake. It's kind of fun. And then what else we have? So we had a review earlier this week, which was of the, it was a brand that I hadn't heard of, but apparently everybody else has. So I don't have any shame in that. But it was the ES Labs HK ES2A. And I can't, and I'm like, I got it. I mean, like, I get it. I don't, but I just have to say, I don't understand I don't follow this stuff like religiously. I'm an enthusiast, and I pick up when what I come across as I'm surfing and things like that. But I don't do this for a living, is my point, and I'll never do this for a living because I'm not good enough, and the market is limited. Like, I couldn't make the living that I want to make doing headphone reviews. I'd be making, if I poured everything I could possibly pour into this. It's at the top end, this channel would have 250,000 subscribers at the very top. That's if I did everything right and I was cranking out a video a week and posting to the other socials and doing the what do they call it, the short clips, the YouTube shorts, doing all that stuff. I'd have 250,000 subscribers and I would get you get like 20 grand for that. I mean, like it's nothing for a living. Like YouTube pays so little. You have to have 1 million subscribers. Then you can start like thinking about, okay, maybe I can do this full time now. So that's just the reality of it. So that's why I don't feel guilty if I don't know every last detail about every last thing. This is my hobby. And I share it with you guys, and that's the best part of it. Is like, and I think it's kind of fun because I know when I'm watching YouTube and somebody doesn't understand something and you're screaming at the screen, "No, you dummy, it's the thing on the left. It's behind the wire and the button. What are you doing?" Like it's that kind of thing. I mean, you're like, "No, you idiot, it's ES Labs. How do you not know ES Labs? I've heard about that. I've known about them since 2021. Oh my God, whatever." That's fine. But it's like, at least I'm giving you something authentic. And that's important to me. So I don't want to, like I could spend hours and hours in research and make sure I know I can pre-open the boxes that are the What's in the Box episodes. And so I know them and I could research them and all of this stuff. I just think that it takes away from the spontaneity of the show. It takes away from the fun of the show. And it's not the show I want to do. So I so apologize if it offends people. It's not my intent. My intent is to share an authentic experience, because I'm a fan just like you guys, and I go through it, and I just go through it and I tell you what I think. And if the product really impresses me, I hold it for review. And I'll do a second episode on it, and I don't try and stack the unboxing and the review right on top of each other. I always like to shove a different thing in the middle, because I think that, if you're not an eStat guy and I'm cranking out eStat content, it gets bored. The show's boring, so I change it up. I throw something in the middle. But if I like the headphone and the unboxing and the sound impression, or if I'm interested and I think there's places to take it, and I'm curious, I'll hold it and I'll do another full episode on it. In the case of the ES2A, they didn't impress me enough, and I didn't know what else I would say about them. I can't change up the amping. I can't change up, it's an E-stat, so I have 1 amp for it. I thought the build was good, not great. I thought it was, but the look is nice. And I thought some of the detail was great. I'm not a fan of the pleather, the plastic, but it was good. It was fine, but there's nowhere else to take that. I don't have further investigation other than I found the label halfway through the episode on the underside of the bridge, which is funny as hell. And I thought that I had heard the sound, and they had great bass. Great, exceptional bass extension, and I actually kind of like the tonal curve on it. But the with all of that popping, the driver flex, it's a hard pass for me. It's a hard pass. It doesn't matter. These things could sound like, like an angel's fart, and I would be like, "I'm sorry, you're popping in my ear. I can't do it." So I'm not. It's like there was nowhere else to take it, so I let him go. I sent him back, which was, I appreciated the experience, and I appreciated the effort they sent to me, and I gave them a half an hour episode on it, which is a good. I gave them a partial endorsement. There are things about the headphone that are great. The tone curve, excellent. The build quality, good in places, bad in places. Materials were not great for $2,000, I'll be honest. I didn't like the headbands. So it's like all of these different things play into it, and all I'm doing is I'm sharing the experience with you and giving you my thoughts. because that's what reviewers do. They offer opinions on things, and and then when I go into a deep dive on it, well, then I like to know more because I've had some time with it. I can understand, like, why did they do this and why were these choices made? I can ask the manufacturer, if, in some cases, and say, what's going on with this? Why, all of that stuff can get investigated. But there's no investigation in the world that's going to fix driver flex. I mean, it's just a characteristic of the headphone. So, and I didn't relish the idea of listening to these things for weeks to do a written review, which I always write the review out and then I make it into a show. I just don't share that written review anymore. I used to do the written review on HeadFi, but I'm like, they're so like, they so don't like YouTube stuff. I'm like, why should I give you content if you're, because that's all I'm doing is I'm giving them free content. And I'm like, why should I give you content if I'm, if you're not letting me like get a little something out of this other than the privilege of giving you content on your channel. To HeadFi's credit, something happened weird the other day. Somebody had reached out, this was like 3 weeks ago maybe, on the live stream. I mentioned like somebody random like asked me if they could use my video I shot of, or my photo I shot of their amp. It was Head Amp had contacted me, reached out and said, can we use this in our promotions and we'll credit your channel or whatever? And I'm like, fine. I'm like, how did you even see it? Well, it turns out I didn't even know this, but HeadFi, like a month after Can Jam, finally saw my post and promoted it on page 1 of the HeadFi site. So, which is the one that I do at Can Jam where I take all the photos, and so they put me up on page 1, which they usually do every year, but it's usually like the day after, because I try to post the night of or the morning after, and I did, but they never saw it apparently or something, or they saw it late, and then they promoted it late, and it was like 3 weeks later I start getting phone calls. like, hey, we like your photo. Can we use it to promote our? I'm like, I don't care. Sure. What do I care? Just say something nice about the show, if you would. Well, it is early, and we don't have a ton of viewers here, but it's kind of fun. So let's start going through the chat. I think we have like 12 people out there. Right? It's like, sorry, guys. It's a small crowd. But that's what I get for changing up. I mean, normally we're at 3:30 in the afternoon. I just couldn't do it this week. And I don't like to miss this opportunity because I actually enjoy connecting with you guys. I actually enjoy like reading the chat and hearing something new that you bought this week, or some thought or something weird that happened. It's always fun when something strange happens, like, I plugged this in and things started smoking. Those kind of stories. It's fun, and I like connecting with you guys, and I enjoy the people. That's why I like the Hangover show so much. Normally we'd be live on Zoom right now, and we'd all have cameras and we can talk to each other. It's so much better than me sitting here yapping my mouth. But anyway. Hello, dear friend from France. Yes. Benjamin Shielden. Cheers, my brother. Good to see you. Ace Spades in the house. Man, we did get some OGs in here. That's great. Vegan Vicar here. Cheers, my brother. Reverend Thomas. Last Rhino. Oh, yeah, he was... I think Last Rhino, you're the one who left me the comment, right? And I have no... Look, tear up my reviews. I don't, I have no, that's YouTube. You know what I mean? I have no problem. And I didn't, and I wrote a response to his comment, and I'm like, I don't mean this in any, in a critical, I'm just like, this is what I do. And I want to explain it because first of all, I respect Last Rhino. Been here forever, and like since the beginning of the show. So I'm not starting a fight. None of this stuff is ever critical. It's just a discussion, and it's why I just explain why I did it this way. And I knew that some people were going to be like, anytime. And by the way, anytime I say anything bad about a product, and I don't think I trashed this headphone, and it wasn't my intent either, because First of all, I'm sure there are people who actually love the headphone, because it's good enough to where I can see where some people would go, well, this isn't perfect, but it's okay. Or I can live with the driver flex. I have a smaller head. I don't move. I'm very stationary when I'm listening. I'm not. I'm like grabbing stuff, and anytime I was doing this stuff on my desktop, it was like pop, 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 and I'm like, I can't live with this. But I'm sure that the headphone is good enough to be for somebody. So I didn't trash the headphone, and I was very careful. I was trying to be very careful with my words to say, well, I think there are people that this would work for. But where you go? But there you go. So last round I meant nothing. Nothing antagonistic, man. I respect anybody's opinion to take issue with something I wrote or something I said or something I do. I'm just figuring this out as I go, and I try to give you enough. All I want you to take away from this is hopefully a smile, because I like to make stupid jokes and do some fun gags, and just put a smile on your face a little bit, take you out of your week, and I hope to God that what I do is authentic. Like, it may be cheesy, it may be dumb, but it's authentic. There's nothing faked. It's like I actually, do the listening live. I make sure that it's I give you my authentic take on things. And if you like it, maybe you don't like it, and that's fine. 1,000 other channels out there. I'm sorry. I'm doing my best, fellas. HD-800 is a headphone to keep for sure. Yeah, I got rid of mine last rhino. I got rid of mine because I got the HE-1000 came out. When the HE-1000 came out and I heard it, I was like, this is a lot better than the HD-800. And by the way, and I was like, and this is like 2010 or 2012 or something, or maybe it was a little later. I can't remember when the HE-1000 came out, but I was like, and surely I can't own two expensive headphones. I mean, they're over $1,000 each. Flash forward 10 years, Oh God, was that guy naive? I should have just held on to the HD-800. I love the headphone too. I really like the HD-800. That's why I bought that's why the Woo WA5LE is here. That's when I bought it. I bought it because I bought the HD-800 and the WA6 that I had. I had a WA6 tube amp, small little guy, fun tube amp. Built like a tank, fun tube amp, and I had fun rolling the rectifier. I should have just stopped there. I was happy. No. Curiosity. So I bought the HD-800, and the WA6 couldn't drive it. It didn't have enough juice. Even at full power, couldn't drive it. So it just was terrible. So there you go. Gene Fruit. Hey, that's you. Yeah, that's you, buddy. And good morning. Good morning, everybody. Maybe it should be like OJ in bed or something. No, not OJ. OJ died. We should do like, it should be Bloody Marys and I don't know, tequila sunrises or something. Vodka and orange juice. That should be the drink today, not whiskey. All right. Torsten. Hey, Torsten. Cheers, buddy. Right, that's why it's his first time here watching live. Oh, brother. Torsten's in Germany. He's always on their live stream, on the Hangover Hangout. So this is a treat for him to be able to do this live. So it's kind of fun to do this, good. Do I plan to test R2R tapes sources anytime soon? Tape sources. So do you want tape players? You define that a little bit, Benjamin. Like different suppliers of tape. I can do a take on that because I do have, I have interest in the skin in the game by the tune of a few hundred tapes. No, not a few hundred tapes, but probably a few dozen tapes. Or are you talking like decks? Because I can't do decks. I don't have enough. I don't have access to decks. Different decks. I have my one that I had retooled that I was in one of the episodes. I don't get to use it enough in this configuration. What I should do is move the big KSA amp here to the back and then bring the reel-to-reel forward in the arrangement, because then that would like make me use it more. The turntable was there, but I never got a chance to balance it and do all the things, and now we're selling the house, so I think you may have missed a couple things on the ES2A, says Gene. Did you put the optional filters on top of the already installed ones or replace them? I put them on top. I didn't see a way to pull the old filters out, the existing filters out. They felt fixed. So I put them on top. And that arrangement, I actually liked it. I liked it better. I thought that it gave me a little smoother shape to the tone curve. And it has nice bass already. The basic shape of the tuning was not an issue for me. I could see why somebody would put these on and go, "Oh, these sound good," and because it's got the E-Stat clarity up top, and it had good bass representation, which is something that I treasure and find. That's a grail for an E-Stat headphone, is to find one that has excellent bass response. My issue was primarily with driver flex, uncomfortable headphone, but the basics of the headphone were good. I didn't think they were the fastest on the planet, but filter's not going to change the speed of the headphone. It's like I thought for an E-Stat, and then the soundstage was super close. And a pad's not going to change the soundstage. You have to change the arrangement of the headphone to make the arrangement of the driver to your ear to improve soundstage. You can't do that with a pad. The filter is just going to change that. What I was hoping would happen is the filter would somehow create a gap and maybe relieve some of the driver flex. Didn't. I did put the filters in over whatever was in there. I didn't see, like, I pulled on the material and it didn't feel like it could come out. So I didn't think that they were encouraging me to take the existing pads, the existing filters out. But I thought the sound was good on them. I said that. I said, kudos. And the basic design of the headphone was nice. I just thought the materials weren't great and the driver flex couldn't deal with it. Not a chance. But Michael, an enthusiast does know a little about the product. You didn't know anything about that product. That's not enthusiast. That's amateur level. Well, okay. I mean, that's fair. It's a fair argument. It's not the show I want to do, though. I want to do a show where you get, so I thought that I would maybe know, like I would get this open and, I don't know. It was just the way I did it, man. I'm sorry you didn't like it. That's fair. I mean, they're not all winners. If every one of them was great, there'd be no frame of reference. So I'm sorry you didn't like it. I just did what I did the show that I wanted to do, and it didn't work for you. And I'm sorry, man. That's not what I'm trying to do. Normally it works out when I do that kind of episode. I'm like, I'll look them up and whatever. So anyway. You'd be surprised, Jill. I don't want to bring up anybody else, but you'd be surprised what they're not making. It's stunning. Trust me. Talking about reviewers and what they make. I don't want to get into that because it's not my game. Let other people talk about reviewers. The thoughts on the Atrium Open B stock used for $14.50. Oh hell yeah! Oh hell yeah! The Atrium Open. Yeah, well, that was one of the things I want to talk about today. Was the ZMF headphones. The rarities are dropping. The rarities are dropping. They dropped yesterday, which is always fun. So let's go live to the ZMF site, which they've got this fun little retro thing going on. It's called Retrovember, which reminds me, by the way, This looks like a David Byrne kind of thing, doesn't it? It's so cool. It's fun. I'm just taking this in. There's probably audio with this. I don't know. But it's great. All right. Let's find the ZMF November. Let's see. Shop. ZMF November. Retrovember. Here's the rarities. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Oh, yeah. Look at these. Ah! Beautiful. So there's a B-stock pair of these on the site. I didn't look at the B-stock, sorry. B-stock pair of these on the site at... Oh, the B-stock. Here we go. I didn't see any B-stock. B-stock pads. Pads can't be $14.95. Yeah, the $14.50 is a fantastic price for any kind of atrium. I love the atrium. It just does so much well. It's a great all-rounder. It's not gonna be top tier in anything, but it's just a great headphone. It's a headphone that I reach for like you can listen to anything on it and you'll be fine. And it's easy to drive, and it's a dynamic driver, which I just love a dynamic driver. It's got a lot of impact. It's just great. And the only thing I would say about the atrium is just, in my experience, make sure you get the suede pad. For what it's worth. The headphone to me did not impress me under a leather pad at all. When I got the suede pad, it changed the headphone. It really, and I've never had a headphone like go from, this is kind of boring, it's not really interesting me, to, oh my God, I love this thing. And it happened with one headphone. There you go. There's a brand you should look at, Sultanis. It's the best value E-Stat amp and headphones. Check out their Urdish. You're doing this. Benjamin, are you making up names just to make me try and say them? Check out the Urdish S headphone and the Mezzoforte Energizer. All right, Mezzoforte is a word. I know that. Look at the look in the build is supposed to be an homage to the Stax Omega. Yeah. And even the X9000 is an homage to the Omega. And I had no problem with that. And actually, and listening to them, the more I listened to them, because I kept like swapping between the the X9000 and that headphone. I thought that the ES1A actually shared more in common with the Stax 007 Mark I that I had as far as sound quality. They were a little faster than the 007 Mark I, but they had the same basic sound shape and the same bass extension. They're actually quite competitive, and there's a brand new SR007S out right now that just came out this summer, and from Stax, and I thought, well, that's gonna kind of devour this headphone, is my feeling. Gene says the popping was weird. He has them, and they pop once a session when he puts them on. Gene, I was getting it when I was even moving my head a little bit. I've had driver flex. It definitely was a huge problem with the original Carbon, Audeze Carbon, because it was a loud zap. But these things were popping, and we have different shaped heads. I have more of a melon, like a bigger head. Imagine that. And I'm so self-deprecating. So I'm stretching the headphone out more because I'm thicker through here, and possibly that was tightening the seal and bringing the driver flex more to the fore. Just theorizing. I don't know. I never had a single issue with his stacks. I've had problems with the 009, had huge driver flex problems. The X9000, no problems at all. And the 007, no problems. Not too many problems. You might get it once in a while when you put them on, but the modern eStats have solved it, and then the stack solved it by putting a vent. I'm sorry, the Audeze Carbon solved it by putting a vent in the headphone. So there's no, you're not sealing that between the cup and the diaphragm anymore. But yeah, I haven't had a problem with the X9000 at all. It's not been a problem. The 900 was terrible. SRX 009. The SRX 009. Sorry. Got it backwards. 9900 009. There you go. Something else, the new Italian brand Newer headphones. It is gorgeous and the sound's amazing, I'm sure. The Italians make some good stuff. That Spiritorinos are amazing. Not for me, but I respect the sound. It was really good. But then I've used them only once upon delivery. You got to pull those things out. What should I buy that I can't actually afford? That might be the comment of the morning. Freaking love it. Go buy yourself go buy a Spiritorino just for the fun of it. They're only 12 grand. Or you can get the Rala Manus. I had another discussion with somebody who didn't like the Amanus the other day. Oh, I did a thing with Wave Theory. That's what it was. I did an interview with Wave Theory. I'm not sure if it's coming out or if it's, where it goes. If it's going to be on his channel or not. He may have gotten done with it and went, well, that was shit. I'm not going to put that out. Who's this guy? But we did a little back and forth about high-end headphones. And we got into a discussion where he said that he wasn't impressed by the Rala Manus. And I said, okay, I mean, it's fair to not like something. I would say that, and I said, well, what'd you listen to them on? And he said, I listened to them on an LTA-10, Linear Tube Audio 10. And I'm like, well, not nearly enough power for the Amanus on an LTA-10, first of all. And it's, in my opinion, it's not a very good amp. But, okay. I didn't say that part of it, but I was like, I don't think the LTA is a particularly good amp overall. And then he said, well, I listened to it on the Viva, and I said, well, I don't think you had enough power to drive the thing with the LTA. And he said, at least make them, sound great. And then he said, well, I don't know, I listened to him at Can Jam and I heard him on the Viva, and I'm like, the Viva didn't have enough power to drive them because I did that audition. I thought they were not very good. I thought they were okay at Can Jam. It wasn't until I drove the shit out of them on high gain on extremely high powered amps, that's when the headphone comes alive. They're very, very average headphones under normal things, and that was kind of the topic of the whole thing. It was like the point of that show was that I did with him was that high-end headphones require high-end gear. The cost of the headphone is never the end of the buying. It's always the start of the buying, because now you got to find gear that makes them work, because they're very picky. The higher end stuff is very picky. You get a lot for your money. Neil sold his Caldera. Aw. He's more impressed with IEMs these days. I'm sure Zach will love hearing that you're glad to see them gone. The Tipsy M5 309 imaging and layering as his Sasfara. Okay. I've yet to hear an IEM that can replace the some of these other headphones. I like IEMs, and I have some great ones here. I've got the Noble Viking Ragnar, and I had the Odin from Empire Ears, and I've had some really good stuff in here. But IEMs are, they're specific, and I have to have a need for them, and I'm not listening that way. But I enjoy them. And when I was at work, everybody would wear headphones, and I would wear these, the Canera Nana, this is a $900 IEM, which still sounds fantastic. It's a great headphone by Canera Audio. This was such a good pair that I bought a pair. I got these in for review way back when, and I liked them so much I bought them. I bought a pair. I think I just offered to buy to Canera, like, how much can I pay you for these? And I just bought them. Thought they're fabulous for great $900 headphone. And I'm sure your Tipsy probably outperforms these, because these are a couple years old now. These are like probably 3-4 years old. Stuff just keeps coming down, getting better. But I'm not going to replace my Caldera with an IEM. I'm not going to replace my Sasfara with an IEM. I like them too much. But that's fine. I mean, if they work for you, great. Fantastic, man. Like what you like. Can't try. There's no harm in that. And there's no problem with, like, having a different opinion than somebody. I'm like, we all have different hearing. Neil has very different hearing than I do. He needs a very bright headphone with a lot of mid-range. That's never going to work for me. That's never going to work for me. That upper mid-range is right where my tinnitus is sitting. And anything that hits in that thing, that emphasizes that range, is going to just irritate my head. It will be absolutely, so we actually like opposite things for the most part. He likes stuff that's going to push a brighter presentation. I like stuff that's going to be more bass heavy and even, and not as much treble emphasis. I'm look after a flatter sound, a leaner sound, but I like a lot of bass. So it's like I'm not flat. R2R means here back to Benjamin. Cheers, brother. Thanks for contributing today and stopping by. He means R2R machines that read tapes, like the French brand Analog Audio Design makes. I have no. If I get hooked up with the company and they want to send me a deck to review because they know I have a lot of tapes and I have good stuff, and they like my whatever, like the way I reviewed this, the Technics deck. That's. I would be happy to do that. What I would have done in the old days is gone out and bought like 3 different decks and kept the one I like. I can't do that. I'm out of money. Director's Garage is broke. The filters are not fixed. They are to be removed. Oh, okay. But my issue. You think that a filter would have added more flex? Because I put the filters in, it didn't change the flex situation at all. And with it out, it certainly had them. I don't know. I can't see why a piece of material, you're not changing the orientation of the headphone at all, and you're not changing the seal of the headphone, which is what the flex comes from. I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. And I like the way they sounded. I didn't have take an issue with the sound. Anyway, while we was looking at the Caldera, just by the Tipsy M5, huh? Yeah, I mean, everybody's. I don't know. An IEM can't replace a headphone for me, and I don't have them out. I put things away. Trying to keep the place in order, fellas. But the Caldera is, it's just such a beautiful headphone. It's just beautiful to hold. I mean, that's part of the experience for me. I like a physical, the physical experience of headphones. It's great. It's not for everybody. I get it. I like the High Senior Mega 5 EST better than the Susvara. Oh, I haven't heard them, to be fair. Sorry, guys. Getting a little froggy. It is morning. Like, whose idea was this to come on this early? Except the fabled HE1, it's wiser to buy a pair of custom IEMs, I would posit. Here's why I'm not into customs, and I have a pair of customs. They're right here. This is my pair of customs. I don't have the overhead cam on right now, sorry, but I can hold them up. This is the one pair of customs I own. These are the Capitol Records. These are so old. Look how these were clear. These connectors were clear when I bought this headphone. Now they're like yellowed, like ancient, and I've had these for a long time. This is the Capitol Records edition from Empire, the name of the company, Ultimate Ears. This is the Ultimate Ears Capitol Records. It's a flatly tuned IEM that I had done in customs because when I was out in the field, I wanted the best seal I could get so I could hear. Because a lot of times when you're in the field, you're in a really bad situation sonically. Like you're in the middle of a crowd, you're at a game, you're at, wherever, and you need to be able to hear the feed of what's being played. So, and this is a really short cable. It's a terrible example of a cable. So I bought these as a custom. And I bought them because they're really great for field audio, and they're flat. So you're really getting a good example of what they don't sound great on. Like if I put my MP3 player or whatever, my Astell&Kern, if I played them through the Astell&Kern, I'm like, it's not that they're not impressive sonically, but I got them for that purpose. So I don't know that I agree that a custom is better. First of all, customs aren't always the most comfortable. They really do plug you up a lot. And I found that I don't like these on a plane because the air pressure is changing and you're sealing off your ears between, and think of a Coke bottle, right? I don't have a Coke bottle here. How do I not have a Coke bottle? I drink Coke by the gallon. Our water bottle, when you are up in the air on a plane and you land, do you ever pull out the water bottle and it's like, oh my God, it's all shrunk up because the air pressure's changed, right? And if you plug your ears and you go land the plane and you're changing altitude a lot, where your ears normally pop and adjust to the air pressure change, you're not allowing your head to do that, and you'll actually. That's how I got tinnitus in the first place. Don't do it, kids. So sealing off your ears is not always a great idea, especially on a plane. If it's a super tight seal, you'll actually hurt your hearing. You can hurt your eardrums. Trust me, I did it. And it wasn't because of an IEM. I would have sued the IEM manufacturer and I would have quit YouTube. No, I'm just kidding. It was the reason that it was I got a cold on a plane, and I had gotten all stuffed up, and I broke out into something on the plane. I was like everything was just all stuffed, and I closed up while I was in the air, and when the plane landed, I couldn't adjust to the air pressure change. My ears wouldn't pop, and I was on the ground in Wichita, Kansas. We were shooting a Kirstie Alley shoot, and my ears were under pressure for about 28 hours or maybe 35 hours on the ground, and then once we got on the plane, we got in the air, and my hearing, like, it took the pain away. And I was like so grateful. But then I was worried about landing. But when I landed, my ears, apparently whatever it was, regulated, and I wasn't in pain when I landed back in LA. But there were almost a day and a half in Wichita, Kansas, where I was in excruciating pain, and I gave myself tinnitus. It's the worst thing ever. Worst thing ever. Caldera is warm and musical. M5 has reference tuning that allows you to hear every micro detail. Oh yeah, the Caldera is not the most analytic, for sure. I tend to not like stuff that's hyper over detailed, and that's why I didn't like the 009S, was because it was so over detailed. It was pushing too much, and it's why I'm not a huge, I'm not a gush monster. Oh look, I found my 7 Hertz Timeless AE, which is the extended bass version. God, that's fantastic. Maybe I'll pull those out and listen to them sometime. Yeah, I was pulling out IEMs yesterday, looking for an IEM to do for this Zoom thing that I did, and I wound up using the HD-820. Sorry, random squirrel. Yeah, I don't want super analytical stuff, because I think I lose the music. You start listening to the clarity of the cymbals, and I'm not paying attention to the orchestra, or I'm paying attention to, wow, that violin sounds incredibly detailed. I can hear the bow as it's crossing the string, and it's like, but I'm not listening to the tone, and I'm not listening to the context of the music. I'm listening to all this detail instead of letting the music move me emotionally. That's what I've discovered over my time in the hobby. That's what I value. So I stopped chasing detail at some point. Initially, I was chasing detail, and I think that's what most people do. But I think you get to a point where it's like, oh, got plenty of detail. We've got detail for days. It's just far a tremendously detailed headphone. The X9000, tremendously detailed. Almost too much. I don't need that much detail. I'd rather have sound that moves me. It's not all about the detail for me. But that's something that I just moved into. And I think everybody's desire evolves. I'm sure there are people that start out with like, oh, these people are chasing all this money for detail, they're crazy, and then now they want nothing but detail because they're getting into the higher end stuff and they're realizing how detailed it is, and they want it that way. So whatever. He likes highly detailed and slightly warm isoparametrics. Fair enough. The advantage there is that IEMs deliver just sound directly to your eardrums. Agree, and they have less distance to play with, and it's hard to make them sonically sound big. You can't, I've had some open back IEMs. They weren't great in execution. I think I have an LCD-4i. Were any of the other ones semi-open backs? I can't remember. I think I had a Meze that was semi-open back. It's okay. It did some things wrong. Spatially, you can't get the same spatial thing that you get out of a headphone. And there's a physicality that very, very, very few IEMs get. You don't get pure slam. There's some stuff that hits on this Sesfara when it's amped well, or on the headphone I had last week, the Fostex, the Purple Heart, like it moves you feel your ears vibrate. Well, there's not an IEM in the world that can make your ears vibrate, because it's past the point that would make your ears pick up on the experience. You know what I mean? So there's things that you can't do with an IEM, but there's things that an IEM can do very well that over the ears can't do. It's just a matter of preference. And I like them both, and I have them both. I use them both. This headphone is on high circulation right now because I'm back to getting my laps in. I lost a couple of days because of the rain, but And thanks to Noble. Noble sent me these for free when my other ones failed. The Mystiques bit it, and they said they didn't have an extra pair, but they'll send me a pair of something else. And I'll probably do a review of those at some point, but I don't know. It's something they got for free. I don't like doing reviews of free stuff that I'm going to keep. It was a favor that they did because they felt bad that the driver broke. When he directly compared the Sesfara and Mega Fest in an audio store, he couldn't understand why anyone would spend 10 times the price for the Sesfara, to be honest. Well, what's a Mega Fest? Mega Fest headphone? Oh, the High Senior. Here we go. Oh, 5 EST, Electrostat. So it's an IEM. Well, okay, I'll make the case for you, Reverend. I'll make the case for you first right now. Yeah, it was, well, first of all, the Sesfara you can get for under $3,000 now. The OG Sesfara, if you look for a good one. You can get it for under $3,000 right now. The other thing is that IEMs don't move your whole head. They don't move your whole ear. And a lot of people don't like to be plugged up. They like the over-ear experience. I like both. I like both in different situations, personally. Which is why I do IEM reviews when I get them, and when I get them in-house. Because I enjoy checking these things out. And I am amazed by what they are able to achieve in these tiny little, like this one doesn't have all the fancy drivers in it, but it sounds really, really good. And it's super small. So even if you have ears that you have smaller ears, I have big Dumbo ears, so I don't have this problem. But if you have smaller ears, and these are vented, there's vents on these. These will not be too large for you. These will actually work. Because they're tiny. But it's amazing to me what they're able to get into these IEMs these days. I'm trying to find some other IEMs. I had a bunch of them out yesterday because I was playing around here. But you know, you're getting into like 13 drivers a side, 14 drivers a side. You know, that's insanity, man. That's crazy. That's crazy talk. To get all of that into these tiny little modules and sound that good and get the timing right. Holy shit! Talking to John Moulton. The timing is the hardest part because you've got, say you have 13 little drivers. I think this one only has 3, if I remember right. But you have 13 different drivers, and you can see these are slightly translucent. I wish I had my overhead camera up, but I don't. But these are slightly. You can see all these little modules. They're little square modules, and some of them are E-stats, some of them are dynamic drivers. They're all these little modules, and they arrange them, and then they have an output tube, and they have to get all of those little tiny micro devices that are this big. They have to get them all in, first of all, in the shell, and then they have to time them so that the sound waves are hitting your eardrum at the same time. Because if you have driver 8 and 9 ahead in timing of the rest of the drivers, those will cancel frequencies because you'll have a wave that's doing this and a wave that's doing this, and they'll actually counteract each other, and they'll kill whatever frequency that driver is tuned for. So it's very tricky. It's very tricky. These things are very complicated and very hard to do, but they're getting better and better at it. And that's why I say this all the time. The IEM space is where all the excitement is. If you're looking for the place that's changing the fastest and the most gains are being made, the IEM space is the place to go, for sure. There's more happening there, by all means. He can use his IEMs with his Mojo 2. Yeah, they have plenty of headroom. That's the other thing, is they're easier to drive. In most cases, there are a couple that are a little trickier to drive. Like the Odin was really tricky to drive. It was very, very sensitive to power input. But yeah, generally they're much easier to drive. He can use his IEMs in Mojo 2 with plenty of headroom. Having a speaker in his ear canal requires much less power and channel balance. Yeah, agree. See his review of the M5 on HeadFi. Arg, sorry about the name. Sorry about the names. It's just a brand from Hungary. You know, sometimes people put stuff in the review. You know, or put stuff in the chat just to see if I'll say it. JTB is notorious for for dropping in something just to see if I'll say it. You know, I'm just reading along and it's like, oh, you got me to say it. Let's see. Benjamin says he made the music of Wave Theory's podcasts. He made the music of Wave Theory's podcast you're involved with, both because he's a soundtrack composer and a follower of you, both of you. Oh, yeah, he's a nice guy. I really liked him, Brian. He's fantastic. Absolutely great. Michael, you know better than bash someone amp. Yeah, well, I'm not bashing the amp. I personally didn't like it. I heard it at CanJam. Everybody's got different preferences. I don't care. You know, like what you like. And I have tinnitus, and that's going to, by the way, that's going to affect my hearing. So you can tell me my hearing's off, and I'm going to go, well, yeah, it is a little bit. I got tinnitus. So it's fair enough. But I'm telling you what I think, and I still have the I can pull out qualities. I just have this constant tone at around, 12K. Drives me crazy. Never goes away. It's 24/7. It's been that way since like 2016. He's very much in sync with Michael's preferences. Similar, he has some tinnitus, like bass. I've always loved a good bottom end. I don't need it to be slapping, but it's fun when it is, and there's a place for that. I love watching movies on headphones that slap bass. It's so fun. Benjamin says he will link Analog Audio Design to me because he's an ambassador of the brand. Oh, yeah. Boy, somebody wants to send me a reel deck. I honestly, I don't know why anybody would send me a reel deck from Europe, given the expense of shipping anything. I'm happy to I will do a full-blown review, and I will do a shootout with this deck, and I can pretty much guarantee whatever you send me will beat this deck, because this deck is 40 years old, and I've had a rehab on it. It was built in 1982. So, and we're in 20, so it's 40 years old. And, but I've had the heads redone. It's got new heads in it. And, it had new bearings put in it. They went through the audio on it, and I don't know if it was recapped or not, but I'm sure they replaced some of the caps. But I think it would not stand up well to a modern machine. But these machines are so heavy, and getting them here, hey, brother, hit me up, directorsgarage@gmail.com. Yeah, that's the email. If you have an ambassador and somebody wants to send me a deck to review, I'm happy to pull out my finest Analog Productions, the Tape Project, Hermolia Audio, and I think there's one other brand in there I have. Check out somebody's deck. I love decks. I love reel-to-reel. I've been a reel-to-reel aficionado my entire life, and I jumped back into it when they started making tapes again. So I have a 2-track machine. That's wonderful. I need a 2-track machine. Don't give me a 4-track machine. I need a 2-track machine. Because my best tapes are all 2-track, 15-inch per second. Yeah, that's the other thing. It's got to play 15-inch per second. Because that's all my good tapes are 15. I have some 7.5s, but And this one has a quad head and a dual head, so it'll play the 4. Physical tape is interesting because it's actually laid out. The tape itself is laid out into tracks. So when you get a 2-track tape, it's taking this 1/4-inch tape and splitting it in half and in one direction it's striping a left and a right channel all the way through the length of the tape. And then you play that back at 15 inches per second, which is incredibly fast. 30 is the fastest. Even engineers don't like 30, though, for some reason. They think that the tape moves around too much. It's moving too fast. And there's a whoa and flutter across the head that induces some negative qualities. 15 inch per second 2-track is the sweet spot for a master. From at least the engineers that I know. And I'm sure that there's somebody out there who would swear, 15, 30 is better. It's more, you're getting moving more tape across the head. You get to spread the sound out better. Yeah, but it's there's a physical problem with 30 that some people don't like. Anyway, so you have 2 tracks all the way through the tape. There's a 4-track version of this where they split the tape, which is this physical. Well, it's terrible. I don't have anything here that can represent tape. It splits it into 4 tracks, and the entire tape is striped with 4 tracks, and then 2 of the tracks are played in one direction, and then you can flip the tape around and you can play the other 2 in another direction. So it actually takes the length of the tape and it doubles its length because you're able to play the tape forward and backwards for 2 tracks. The downside to that is you don't get the full fidelity because you're writing the audio material on a smaller track, because now you're splitting that 1/4-inch tape down into 4 tracks instead of 2 tracks. So the 2-track masters are like the ones everybody's going for now in the audiophile world, because you get an extremely fast, you get a lot of material, a lot of data passing over the heads in a time space. And it sounds fantastic. It's I love records. I love, and I think that DSD files and all that are great. The tape is the best format for me to my ears, but I'm also a snob, so don't do what I do. So, by the way, I am versus over ears. He still has his Abyss and a couple of Audeze. Well, then this is the argument, right? Right here. First of all, a lot of people don't like the idea of putting stuff in their ears. That's not comfortable for them. So an IEM is never going to be a solution. I don't have that problem. My thing is this. Turn up the volume, and when the bass impact hits, your whole head moves. Your ears move. If you have something in your ear, it's physically impossible for your outer ear to move. Can't move it. This isn't going to move your outer ear. There's no way. You're shoving the sound is going into your ear tube. You're bypassing this, which gives you a different experience. You get more. There's a more plugged in feel to the music in some ways. You can't move your whole head. The other issue is on and off. If you're taking your headphones on and off a lot, much easier to remove and put on a headphone than it is in and out an IEM. There's just for different reasons that people would like one or the other. I like both. I like them both ways. For working out and whatever, I don't like a headphone when I'm working out. Hate it. When I'm working out, I want an IEM for sure, every single time. But I don't. When I'm sitting back listening to some jazz, no, I'm not going to be an IEM guy. I'm going to want the over-ear experience, and I want the sound stage. I want the openness of the open back. I want that experience, and then I want a big tube amp driving it to warm up the sound. Personal preference. I understand that. I mean, it's not for everybody. Isoparametrics gets. Oh wait, did I do this one? Sennheiser's Abyss, and a couple of Audeses. There's a reason to have Audeses and Abyss. I have mine. Mine are for sale, my Abyss. I'm trying to move on from them. I'm trying to break up with them so I can pay. I owe some money for an amplifier. I've got to pay somebody for, and I don't have the money to just give it to them. So I'm selling. I have 2 headphones up for sale. There's the Carbon 2 is, which I'd love to keep. I just can't have 2 E-Stats here. I have a 007 Mark I in OG, and I have the Carbon 2, and I have the SRX 9000. So the Carbon 2 is the easiest to sell. Honestly, like the only one I want to keep is the 007 Mark I. The X9000 makes sense to keep just from a reference standpoint for when I do a review and I want something to compare it to. But I know the sound of it enough now. Even if I sold the Susvara, I know the sound of the Susvara now to keep it as a reference in my head. You know, I don't need to have it here because I've been listening to him for too long. Anyway, yeah, I'm there's stuff I'm selling just to get rid of it. He found that detail. He had a lot of music that wasn't produced well, and it sounds better on less detailed headphones. I think there's a time and place for both. That's a fair argument. I just don't need hyper detail all the time. There's not. There's stuff that's fun. It's fun to listen to, in the same way that a bass Canon headphone is fun to listen to. I don't want it all the time. I definitely don't want it all the time. Great for a movie. Great for maybe some. If I'm in the mood to listen to some AC/DC or something, I might go for a little more bass. But if I'm listening to jazz, I want something that's a little leaner. I don't want something that's going to push bass as much because I want the natural sound to come out. It's just the way I approach things. Isometrics. He also likes the total focus on the music and being blown away by it all, but he can't multitask in that state. Yeah, I'm always multitasking. I think you need to experience more IEMs. I've got 15 of them right here. I mean, I need more. Some IEMs stage very wide and very deep. Yeah, they're not the same, Neil. Some bass-heavy IEMs can blow you across the room. I've had them. These timeless AEs are bass cannons. They're fantastic. But they don't give you the physical impact of the bass. You just can't do that with something that's in your ear versus out of your ear. And I agree that some IEMs stage quite wide, and there are even some open-back IEMs that are great. They're not going to stage the Susvara or the X9000 or the Abyss. I would take, to me anyway, to my ears. And if they're staging great for you and you're getting that stage experience, fantastic, go for it. I'm telling my opinion, I can't see it. It doesn't happen for me. And I've got a ton of IEMs here. I've got piles of IEMs here. I've got Nobles, and I love them. And I think they're great. But I'm not replacing my over ears. I won't. That's my opinion. And I'm entitled to my opinion. And I respect that that these are working for you. I think it's fantastic. You're finding gear that works for you. That's not breaking the bank. I wish I was that. I'm always in search of the next thing. Unfortunately, my brain is. I can't afford the next thing. So there you go. That's the downside of it. Such a loser. I'm such a loser. Benjamin Shieldon says he composed a special album for analog audio called Tapehead, only available on reel-to-reel tapes. That's gonna make what you should, gonna make what should be, so you can test the machine and the album. Well, the key to testing a machine is put something you're familiar with on both, right? And that's why I almost didn't go with St. Paul and the Broken Bones on the last review, because the thing is, I had listened to it so many times at that point, I thought it was fair to do. But a lot of times I go to reference tracks because I want something that I know already. and that I've been listening to. And I've been listening to St. Paul and the Broken Bones on the Sysfara. I've been listening to it on the X9000. So I'm like, I was sort of in the mode, and I felt like it was I could get away with it for one track, or for one of the auditions in the last one. But I tend to use stuff that I'm familiar with for reviews and for comparisons, because I know what it sounded like on the Sysfara, and I know what it sounded like. It's particularly when we got to the Steely Dan track in the review of the EStat. I know what it's like I know what Hey 19 sounds like, and I'm like, as soon as I heard it, I'm like, oh, it's just, there's something the X9000 brings to this track that's just spectacular. And the first track that we listened to, the stage, immediately I knew that I was listening to jazz, and because I like to listen to jazz on EStats because of the lifelike experience, and I heard the horns right here, and I'm like, oh, these are narrow, like these are very tight soundstage, like there's not a lot of space in these, because the horn was right here, and I'm like, holy shit, that's way closer than I remember on this track. And then sure enough, when I went to the X9000, I'm like, yeah, the horns are playing, out in the room. So, yeah, the stage wasn't for me. There's a couple things in the headphone, but it was a good headphone. It's just, I didn't feel the need to keep it. I've kind of heard what I needed to hear out of it. And I respect that they're for somebody. They're just not for me. And I said that in the review. If you're curious, he works a lot of Genius as Gears creators, a composer and a mixing mastering engineer. He's an artist and an ambassador of incredible people. I love that. That's great. Hey, I got it. Oh shit, I just got my IEM wet. That's all right, these are old. They don't need to perform anymore. I'm not even doing the work for these anymore that they require. They require them. Whoa. No, they weren't in there. All right, that's dry. I just got the tip wet. Just the tip got wet. It's in my iced tea, fellas. That's great, man. That's a great job to have. That's awesome. I'm a big. I just like people who do things. Like one of our guys on our live stream on the Patreon site. He's a conductor. What an interesting job to get other people to play music a certain way. I think that's fabulous. I think that's an interesting job, And some guys, like we joke a lot, but Neil was he worked for one of those the companies that make the Bluetooth headsets. It's incredible. What an incredible job to have, to work for a company that helps people in their day-to-day lives like that. You know what I mean? That's fantastic. And Neil's a fascinating dude. And we don't, like I said, we have different tastes and stuff, but he always brings a great take to things, and that's what I appreciate. And he's funny. He's also funny. We can joke with each other a lot. It's great. He likes the wireless IEM. I love a wireless IEM, yeah, because you can get up and move around and still listen. I like them for working out because I can move and I don't have the wire. And I can't tell you the number of times when I used to jog with an iPod, and I had the wired headphones, and I would pull the headphones out, and it's like it's a disaster, because if they fall out and the thing's in your pocket, the IEMs can make it to the ground. And I was using nicer IEMs. I think at that point I was using like Shure or some of the other, a few $100 IEMs, which I think some of these things that Neil has run circles around now, which is great, fantastic. Where's that? Wrap up. Oh, longer session today. When he was commuting to work on the bus, he loved IEMs in the winter and cans in the spring and summer. I prefer, if I'm on the go, I prefer an IEM. I've stopped with the IEMs on airplanes if I have the space and I can bring an over ear. I'll bring like the Batiste with me. because I don't like the pressure thing with the IEMs, but I don't bring these with me anymore on planes. I tend to bring a regular IEM because these don't seal. I use Dakoni bullets, and they seal well, but they're not a tight seal. They're not like an airtight seal. And that allows the ear to breathe when the plane's taking off. So they don't irritate my ears as much. But mostly when I'm traveling, lately, and I want to go back to the timeless AE. I haven't used them in a while. I should. But when I'm traveling, I use these. These are a Noble K10L, which is a fantastic, but this is a custom pair that John Moulton made just for me. And he handmade these. And they're just the most beautiful things. It's the one thing I think I can say that I took absolutely for free. He sent these to me as a gift, and he wanted me to have these. And I said thank you, and they have special meaning to me. They'll never go for sale. These will be with me forever because they came from somebody's hand. Everything else I've paid for in some way. I've gotten a couple of discounts on some things, but I believe in 100% I try to be as transparent as I possibly can be, and disclose as much as possible. Like I'm getting right now, I'm getting a Qobuz. Qobuz is letting me gave me a press subscription because I'm a media person in their eyes, and so I fooled them. So I'm getting Qobuz, but I want you to know exactly what. I don't hide shit. I don't have special deals. The stuff that comes in other than that K10L, anything that came in here that I didn't have to pay for, I will give away. I have no interest in keeping it. I have enough stuff in my world. I've got too much stuff in my world. These were, instead of a warranty, they did me the courtesy and sent me a new IEM, and they're fabulous, and I thank them for it. But they said they can't fix these and they can't replace these because they're not making them anymore. This is the Noble Mystique. This is fantastic. If they still made these, I probably would have just bought another pair because they were good enough. They did what I needed them to do, and they did it for years. I do appreciate on these the shape. They've reshaped these. Whoa! I just pulled the earpiece off. I'm destroying things today. Just pulled the little Dakoni bullet off. What I appreciate about these, here we go. It's back on. What I appreciate about these is they reshaped them, and they actually fit my ear better. They're more ergonomic. They're more comfortable, which I appreciate when moving around and exercising. Totally appreciate that. Parametrics. But when I don't ride a bus typically. I don't ride a train typically. When I'm in LA, nobody rides a train. Nobody takes a bus. Nobody walks. I walk. To be honest, but if I do, I'm going to use an IEM. To be honest, here we all have over-ears, IEMs, wired, wireless, DAPs, stacks, and all the things. We've got all the things. Yes. It's just what do you prefer? That's the question. And I like both for different situations. Depends. I hate having to stop the playback of a symphony just so that I can pop into the kitchen to get a drink, go to the bathroom. Wireless rules. Reverend Thomas dying on that hill. He has his earphones and bone conduction drivers. I love the bone drivers, man. It's my favorite driver on the planet. Bone driver. Reverend Thomas, there's no better performing headphone on the planet than a properly powered Sesfara. Ooh, spicy. $500 IEM, regardless of tuning, doesn't come remotely close, especially the Megafest. Oh, I don't want to steal. Look, everybody's going to have their opinion on stuff. My feeling is this: if I'm going to listen to a piece of music and I'm on my own and I'm alone and I'm in a quiet room and I'm in a space and I really just want to take in a piece of music, I'm probably going to grab the Sysfara, the X9000, the depending on genre, the Caldera, Atrium. Gonna pull out the Meze in a little bit. I'm gonna listen to the Meze. That's my next headphone up. I'm gonna pull out one of those to listen to it. I'm probably, in fact, I can tell you, I will not pull out an IEM. I like the experience of a big amp and the great DAC and the smoothness that this system brings. It's a special system. It's taken me years to get to this system, and I'm very happy with it. And I appreciate those who think it's overkill or don't like the sound of it. It's fine. Absolutely anybody's prerogative to like something else. But that's it. Let's see. Gene Fruit says he has the Abyss Joel in the house as part of a tour by Abyss. Have you heard them? Thoughts? No, I haven't, Gene. What do you think of them? What's your opinion? Abyss are definitely have a specific sound usually, but I haven't heard the Joel, so I can't talk about it. Even the HE1. Are we referring to the best headphone on the planet? It's a good challenge. For me, if I was putting anything in order right now, the headphone that I most want back here is the Imanis, the ribbon driver. I think for a premium experience, and it's what makes me back to the top of the show, because Gene has an Imanis. It's what makes this HD-800 thing so curious for me, the Jupiter Audio, because Gene has an Imanis, which I respect and I think is the best headphone in the world right now, amped properly, and to get to that amp, it's going to cost you. It's going to be very expensive. And Gene listens to this HD-800, with the Jupiter mod. And I'm like, that's telling me something, because to me, to my ears, the Imanis is probably the best thing I've heard. And I include the HE1 in that cosm, personally. And at least the HE1 paired with the Ray Samuels amp the Imanis paired with the Ray Samuels amp is the best I've heard, personally. And I've heard it's been a number of years since I've heard the HE1, to be fair, but I have a pretty good memory for sound. I remember I think if I could have any headphone in the world right now, I would want, and I had unlimited funds, which I don't, I would want the Imanis. I don't have it though. I don't have the money. It's not coming my way anytime soon. I did talk to Danny. He may lend them to me for another month to check out an amp with them. That's possible. But although he's purchased IEMs in the 4 to 6K range, this is Neil. Although he's purchased some IEMs in the 4 to 6K range, some IEMs for a few $100s sound absolutely fantastic. Absolutely. Back to this Timeless. This Timeless competed with headphones, IEMs, and headphones for that matter, at the $1,000 level, easily. These were $200. Fantastic headphone. This is fantastic. Some people don't like the fit of these and stuff. I have some complaints about these. They're fantastic. Great headphone. And now there's a Timeless 2 out. I haven't heard it yet. Yeah, they're just better and better. I can't talk right now. I'm live on the YouTubes. Brother. Live call-in from my in-law. Hope that didn't disrupt the signal at all. I mean, it's a sign we need to start wrapping the show up. Wrap this damn show up. Gene, he's owned a couple of Abyss headphones. He doesn't like the tuning. I've cycled through the 1266. I've had the 1266 for a long time. I'm ready to break up with the 1266 for a while, and I can always buy another one if I miss it. I'm ready to send this off. I've got them for sale. I know it's a high price. It's $5,000, but I'm also selling with it I figured $4,000 for the headphone is pretty much the going rate on the headphone on the used market, and then $1,000 for both the Rune stand and the $2,500 superconductor cable. I think $5,000 is a fair price for that, but I can't. They're not selling, so maybe I'm too high. Maybe I need to get higher. Smoke more. I don't smoke, fellas. Something I never got into. Thankfully, that's why I have headphone money. No drugs. Cheers. Yeah, I go hot and cold with the 1266. There are times when I just love it. I fall in love with this sound signature, and then I get tired of it because it's a little mid-present. It gets a little MIDI for but boy, that bass, some good things. Neil still has this as far on the XX9000 he'll keep, but for future purchases are only going to be IEMs. That's great. Of course, he has interest in DACs and amps. Yeah. Yeah, there's an experience there. And here's the best part, Neil. Anything you don't want... Sorry, live on YouTube. Would love a Thursday. Sorry, that was the subject of the FaceTime. Okay, so anyway, HE1 current manufacturer real sale price is $120,000. Somebody said it was 90, and at least in the US it was 90. It went up to 90, but I don't. And it's a price that nobody should pay, ever. I mean, to be honest with you, nobody should pay $10,000 for a headphone. And this was part of the thing that we talked about with on the Wave Theory podcast that'll be coming out whenever. Nobody should pay this money for these $10,000 is an absurd amount. Don't kid yourself into saying it's an investment. It's an investment in myself. It's an investment. It's not an investment in anything. It's a luxury product you're buying for yourself. That's fine. And if you have the luxury, if you have the expendable money, go ahead and do it. By all means, have at it. Don't go into debt to do it. I'm just your big brother talking to you. Your your grandfather in some people's cases. Don't go into debt to buy an audio product ever. Don't go into debt, period, if you can avoid it, please, except for your house, except to buy a house. Pay cash for your cars. This is how you get ahead. This is the stupid things people don't tell you. Audio gear is not an investment. It's an asset that will go down in value. It's not going up in value. Never go up in value. Yeah, it's expendable, meaning it has a product life, in which case it's going to at some point expire and die and fail to make noise for you. Everything, every one of them, every single one of these products will stop working at some point for some reason. Just be sensible. Be sensible. Don't do it. No, there are $1,000 on a headphone is plenty. Plenty. The what you're getting beyond the $1,000 price point at this point is negligible. I mean, it's not worth we're fools for doing it. I mean, we do it because there is an extra, it does get better. Objectively, to me anyway, it does get better when you get up into that thin air. Is it worth it? Well, no, it's not worth it, but there's no value in this hobby. It's not a value hobby. It's a luxury hobby. So there you go. That's my spiel. So I think Sennheiser raised the price so they didn't have to make the product, to be honest with you. I think that they a couple things. First of all, tariffs and price of materials is jacking everything up. Get it. Critical got one, and then I think it probably spurred a lot of interest from the Japanese enthusiast crowd to buy one. Or the Asian enthusiast crowd. I can't remember if it was Japanese or Chinese, but and I think that that encouraged, and they probably got some orders, and they went, "F this, we don't want to make this thing anymore." Like it was a statement product that like 2 or 3 people would own. I think that this is what Sennheiser was saying. It was just a statement product, and people are actually buying this thing now, and we don't want to make them, so we're going to price them so nobody will buy them. I honestly believe that. I honestly believe it. I believe that that's what's going on with the HE1. Here we go. He worked at Plantronics, as the president of a division dedicated to computer audio. He made headsets for Microsoft, which bundled with the Xbox. But these are things that I just think I think it was a great profession, Neil. I mean, don't sell yourself short. You're doing something important. And it was great. I think it's great. That's why, I just cheers. You were doing a great thing, and you were doing something that mattered and made a difference in people's lives. Very important. And Plantronics is a great company. I had many of their products over the years. They all broke. No, I'm just kidding. But I had many a Plantronics Bluetooth product over the years. And computer audio is very important to a lot of people. There's a lot of people who sit at their desk all day and answer calls on their computer. And you contributed to people's lives and made them more enjoyable, more comfortable, and sonically more rewarding. So that's a big deal. So he can, but it's still ridiculous. So can I, but it's still ridiculous. The Mystique, you got the Noble Mystique, cause of Michael. I love them. Still working great. Yeah, I think they're great. I haven't done a shootout, but I have a partial. I just have a special place in my heart for this, in the same way that I have a special place in my heart for the Noble Sultan. There's something special about this headphone. I still to this day, unfortunately I've got one driver that keeps kicking out on the right side, and it's special. Noble did something really special with this headphone, and these sound fantastic too so far. Not sure if I can't say yet if I prefer one over the other. I like the comfort of these. I like the style of this headphone better. There's something about this tuning that's magic, though. God, I love that tuning. So good. Nobody walks in LA, yeah. It's like missing persons. We're all missing people. One thing about IEMs, there's a 4.8 ear tip, that there are 4.8 millimeter ear tips in the world. Take me about a month of ear tip swapping to find the best one. Ugh. Yeah. Oh, there are 4.8 million ear tips in the world. Yes. I have a couple that I go to that I really, really enjoy. And IEMs will get different with each style of ear tip. So, but I have a case over there of about, I'd say 30 different ear tips. That I can go to if I'm searching for something. Generally, the bullets will work fine. There are some tubes that are too big, and I have to use a proprietary, and some tubes that are too small, and I can't get them to fit. But usually, I go with the bullets, or there's another brand that I like. I've mentioned this a couple of times on the show. They're called 10 Mac Turbos. I don't even know if they make them anymore. Amazon used to sell them. Mac Tips. TENNMAK. Yeah, they still make them. They still make them. $9.99 for a set of 6. I'll show them off. I'll put a link in the description so you can give me the 20% of the, or the, what is it, the 2% of the $9.99. Get paid 4 cents for this live stream, fellas. I'm getting rich. I'll give you the affiliate link on a $9.99 product. I am genius. Here. These are the silicone tips that I like. Auto. Right here. These are 10 Mac Turbos, and they call them turbos because they've got these blades on the inside, and it gives it some rigidity to the silicone that's normally pretty floppy against your ears. So I just buy these, and I buy these large tips. They work for me, but they're good, and they're $10. They're cheap. So and I can tell you that the Duconis are not $10. They're $10 for like 2. You get a whole set of them for this. So go ahead over there. I don't have a link set up, so I can't even take the influencer. The 2% of the $9.99. I'm giving it's like 4 cents, guys. They kill me. I am the worst marketing person in the face of the planet. All right, a couple more, and then we'll wrap this live stream up. We've been going for a while. Wow, this has been a long one. This is the longest live stream I've done in forever. After spending several hundreds of dollars. It took Reverend Thomas the same way to same length of time. Yeah, it definitely does. It takes a minute. He still has Plantronics at work for Zoom meetings. Yeah. Music sucks on them. Very disappointed, Neil. Just Zoom meetings is what they're good for. Okay. They're not. If he was designing an audio file, they're not designed for audio files. They're designed for spoken word. Amanus is like watching every movie on IMAX. Not every film is better on IMAX. I'll drink to that. Yes, it's true. The daily drivers for him are the Sysfaro OG and the JR800. That's why I'm so fascinated, and I want to try and get a pair of those, Gene. I respect your opinion tremendously, and if you're saying if they're good enough to daily drive, then I want to hear them, because I like the original 800 anyway. I always thought it was a good headphone. A lot of people didn't like them, and there's a lot of blowback for them. And remember, those things came out at the time when headphones were sub $1,000, and Sennheiser dropped this $1,500 headphone on the market, and everybody went, "Oh my God, a $1,500 headphone! Nobody should buy that." And then Audeze followed with the LCD-3 at $2,000, and everybody went, "Oh my God, it's a $2,000 headphone!" And now we're like, "What's that? $8,000? Okay, it's $8,000. Okay, we'll just pay the $8,000." We've really become frogs in water to the escalating prices of the headphones. Torsten listened to the Joel. Gene, what would you think of the Joel, by the way? Anyway, he listened to the Joel, and while the Dianas weren't really his cup of tea, he thought the Joels were very good. He was so good that he ordered one. Just been waiting a few months for delivery. Well, that's Torsten. That's a high praise. I'll take that. This self-hating man was kissing the feet on a black man when peak woke hit. in 2020. He ate the agenda hook, line, and sinker. Oh, it's a guy. It's Gavin roasting me. Oh, that's great, man. Cheers to you. You know nothing about my politics. So funny. Wow, that's really spicy. That's so spicy. Well, you certainly showed yourself, Gavin. I hope you enjoy your life. Oh my God, what a miserable person. Okay, I went through a lot of premium ear tips. You can't tell the difference, but for him, it's about fit, cheap silicone tips, and just work that work just as well on the. And we don't do politics on the shows. You know, go talk to, I don't know, whoever it is you talk to. Go talk to Megan. She'll love you. I went back to a lot of premium ear tips. I can't tell the difference for him. It's about fit. The cheap silicone tips work just as well as the premium tips. Oh. I think I can tell a difference, and that's why I have two different types of tips. I like I like a foam tip most of the time because I prefer the seal. If I'm going to go with silicone, sometimes it just feels a little floppy inside my ears or whatever. Anyway, but so I have that's why I went with the 10 Max if you wanted them. Anyway, a couple more folks and then we'll wrap this one up. Yep, Plantronic headsets were intended for talk only. Yeah, and they do what they gotta do. Hello, back from work. Gotta love a 12-hour shift. Hope y'all are good. We're just about to wrap up Binary. I'm so sorry. But we covered a lot of ground today. We covered my ineptitude as a reviewer for not knowing everything about everything. We've talked about how apparently I'm a pin-headed woke guy. Okay, whatever. This guy doesn't even know. Oh, it's so funny. Yeah, we've covered a lot of grounds. I talked about some of the editing projects I'm working on right now and some good stuff. And okay, I got to start wrapping this thing out. We've been going a long time. This is a long live stream. It's almost a 2-hour live stream. I don't even like me for 2 hours, fellas. Okay. So that's going to wrap it up. We'll do another live stream this week, probably Wednesday. I'd love to get back to the Wednesday habit of doing these. Get more people in. It's more fun, and it's the afternoon. I'd love to get back to 3:30 on Wednesdays, but there have been a lot of extenuating circumstances, especially with the misses. Hey, if you have any headphone new gear photos, send them in. We'll show them off on the live stream. I love doing that. So please send in your photos of your latest gear to this. Next up for me, I've got a mystery box coming from from a manufacturer sent to me. And it's something that a lot of people have already reviewed, so it's not going to be terribly unique, but it'll be new to me. And so I'll try to make something fun out of it, which would be great. But that's a ways away. Oh, 10 Mac, TENNMAK, Turbo. 10 Mac Turbo. I'll write it in the chat real quick on my way out the door. There you go. It's in the chat. Okay, fellas, I'm out of here, and enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Have a great weekend. Watch some football if you're into that, and I'll see you guys before you know it.